Welcome to Signal to Alpha, your essential market briefing. I'm Lady Muriel, cutting through the noise to deliver what moves markets today. Let's get you your alpha before the opening bell. Here's what's moving markets today. We're watching infrastructure failures and political risk in Washington, a major defense contractor relocation from Virginia, rapidly escalating geopolitical tensions across Ukraine, the Middle East, and Latin America, a critical counterterrorism operation in Syria, and a partial government shutdown threatening disaster relief funding. Let's break down what matters for your portfolio. Starting with infrastructure and political risk, Washington, D.C. Mayor Muriel Bowser declared a disaster emergency over the largest sewage spill in U.S. history. Over 240 million gallons of raw sewage have poured into the Potomac River since January 19th, when a 6-foot-wide pipe collapsed. Bowser requested federal help from President Trump, but White House officials are pointing fingers at Maryland Governor Wes Moore for infrastructure neglect. This matters because cleanup costs remain undetermined, and the political football could impact federal contracting and municipal bonds in the region. Meanwhile, Boeing announced it's moving its defense, space, and security headquarters from Arlington, Virginia, back to St. Louis, Missouri. This comes just over a month after Democrat Abigail Spanberger took office as U.S. House Representative from Virginia's 7th Congressional District. Boeing framed this as a multi-billion-dollar investment in advanced combat aircraft production, but the timing raises questions about business climate concerns in Virginia. On the geopolitical front, we're seeing multiple pressure points. Ukraine recaptured roughly 78 square miles over 5 days in the Zaporizhia region, the fastest territorial gains since mid-2023. Military analysts credit disruptions in Russian battlefield communications and restrictions on Starlink terminals. This is happening while U.S.-Russia-Ukraine negotiations in Geneva have stalled. The key takeaway for markets: Western defense contractors remain critical, and sustained support looks likely despite diplomatic efforts. U.S. intelligence officials also revealed they thwarted a catastrophic prison break involving 6,000 ISIS fighters held in northern Syria. Director of National Intelligence Tulsi Gabbard coordinated an emergency transfer to a detention facility near Baghdad International Airport. Officials warned their escape would have meant the instant reconstitution of ISIS. The operation involved CENTCOM helicopters and Iraqi cooperation, but thousands of ISIS-affiliated families remain in camps, creating ongoing regional security risks. Iran just got elected vice chair of the UN Charter Committee, the body overseeing UN principles. Israeli Ambassador Danny Danon called it moral absurdity, noting Iran is the world's leading state sponsor of terrorism. Meanwhile, the USS Gerald R. Ford is heading toward the Middle East as nuclear negotiations with Iran continue in Geneva. Senator Marco Rubio is holding secret talks with Raul Guillermo Rodriguez Castro, grandson of former Cuban President Raul Castro. A senior official said the regime has to go, but what that looks like remains undecided. Cuba's president admitted earlier this month the country is close to failing after nearly 70 years of communist rule. Finally, the partial DHS shutdown hit day 5 yesterday with no resolution. FEMA currently holds $7 billion in disaster relief funding, but officials warn a major catastrophe could strain resources. The shutdown centers on disputes over ICE reforms. This matters because the proposed DHS funding bill includes $26 billion for FEMA's disaster relief fund, but hurricane season approaches and political gridlock threatens emergency response capabilities. That's your signal to alpha for today. Subscribe for tomorrow's essential market briefing. Trade smart, stay informed. Check us out at capitalcopilot.io.